Hey, how's everybody doing today? I want to welcome you to day number 12 of the Walk With Me Challenge. So real quick, you asked Ricardo, what is the Walk With Me Challenge? So if you haven't been seeing me, just know that for 30 minutes, I've been dedicated for 21 days straight to do some type of walking, some type of swimming, something for 30 minutes where I'm able to not only help my body move exercise-wise, but also what I've been doing. I've been coming on, dropping some nuggets, some things that I apply to my life, things that I've learned, and things that I'm going through, that I pray that, something I say may be something that you can take and begin the process to help your life out to become a better place, maybe take it to the next level, what you've been looking for. And so we left off yesterday about taking massive action. And this is really the series where we're talking about, what successful people do to grow, to get better, how they got to their success. And so one of the clues was that, hey, massive action. And so what I want to do, I want to pivot from that massive action and then talk about assessment. Okay. So most successful people, what they do is, first of all, when they take the massive action, they begin also to take assessment to see what's not working, what is working, and what can you do better. Right. And so I learned this from a mentor, because after we do events, we sit down and we talk about what went well, what can we do better, and also what's something that we need to change. Okay. And so what that does, that allows you to be critical of the things that you're doing, but also see that, hey, maybe everything that I was doing wasn't a waste. Right. So once you begin to assess and see, hey, first of all, what went well? So when I took the massive action, what I could see is that I built up a level of consistency, which is good. Also, I realized that I didn't know as many people as I thought I knew. But the people who got to hear me, got to see me do my thing, what happened was they began to follow me. So follow me in a way where, hey, any kind of events that I wanted to go to, they wanted to go to those events. So what I did, I began to build that first layer of leadership, which is pretty amazing. But I won't go into that yet, but we'll go into that to another day. But what that first assessment did, it allowed me to also see what went wrong. So I realized, for me, when it comes to the age groups that I was thinking about, I started realizing that I started getting attraction from people who were 18 to 35 years old. And so I started saying it because before, I was trying to talk to people who was 50 years old, 45 years old. And so what happened was I began to find my voice to the target range, the target market, who I am supposed to inspire, talk to, or be able to connect with. And so what happened was, after taking that assessment, then I was able to see what can I do better. And so what's some things that you could do better? So for instance, I'm going to talk from the standpoint of sales and being somebody in the community, doing things to be able to help the community grow, okay, in a positive way when it comes to entrepreneurship. So when it comes to sales, what I learned is that I have a heart to help people. So what happened was I began to spend people's money for them. And so what I would say is, people don't need to get all these things. They don't need all of this. But I started asking myself, if somebody asked me, it's like, so, after you assess and you talk about these things and you talk to people about their needs, their wants, things that's a point of their life that's a sore spot, why don't you give them what they truly need, no matter what the cost is, right? Because that whatever products that you're selling, whatever system that you're creating for them is something that's going to help them become better, help them be better off than where they were at, right? And I started asking myself that question. I was like, why am I spending other people's money for them? I need to let them make their decision. My goal as a sales rep was to sell them not only what they needed, but also what could cause them to break open to the next level in their life, right? So what does that mean for a community? community, I sit there with entrepreneurs every single day. I sit there and I collaborate with entrepreneurs every single day. And the first thing, my goal is to really ask them, where do you want to be? What do you want to get out of this? Because the reason why I ask that question is so I can begin to build the pillars, so I can be able to set up streams of areas where they need to work on, first of all, what they need to focus on, what they get, the same thing, what they do well, what they need to, what they're doing wrong, and what they need to work on to get better. So it's the same thing when it comes to your taking massive action, your career, your schooling, your family, community, whatever it is. You can ask yourselves those 3 questions and begin the process of learning how to grow. And over time, what you'll see is the wording that you say, how you communicate with people, how much energy you put out begins to become more focused. It begins to align with your target audience even more. And then also what you'll start seeing is massive testimonies about the experience that people are getting, because what you're doing, you have slowed down enough after taking massive action, and you're working on your craft to become better at what you do, and your products become more trustworthy. And it's not like you didn't have a good product before, but now that you have the mindfulness, the insight, the stick-to-itness, the diligence, the expertise to learn different layers of leadership, different layers of impact with your product or whatever you're doing, now people can really attach to it and have something that is a firm foundation, which ends up being a firm principle, because principles last forever. Truth can change over time, but principles are it always works. It's never no limit to principles. Okay, so that is the Walk With Me challenge for today, day number 12. And I'll be back on tomorrow to continue on our conversation. All right, love y'all. Bye-bye.